And it's another rainy day. Oh, how many of you will get that reference? uh, some of you will. There's a handful of you who got it last time. Sent me a message. Oh, that's funny. All right, for those of you who didn't get it, there is a comedian out there, a ventriloquist comedian, Jeff Dunham. And Jeff has one of his characters is, now I'm not even going to remember his name, the redneck, beer-bellied character. And part of one of his skits was talking about NASCAR racing because, you know, good old country boys like to drink beer. They like their NASCAR racing, and I used to be in that category, so to speak. And what was that character's name? God, I can't think of it. It'll come to me anyway. Part of his skit was he'd be talking about how exciting NASCAR racing was, and he'd get along in his little spiel there, and he'd say, "And look, they're making another left turn, and another left turn." Y'all, go look it up. It's funny. And another rainy day. Feel like I'm in the movie Groundhog Day. Hey, folks. Hope you all are doing well. If I can do this without touching my camera and making it vibrate. Oh, God. Well, it is Tuesday, and I was hoping to do a little workout here today, but I think I'm going to do a few videos because I got a couple of thoughts I want to share with you. And further expand on the thoughts that I had yesterday about the money changers. And let me make something very clear on it. We'll do that. Actually, I'm going to break that up into two videos. I'm going to do two videos because there's two different thoughts, and I want to kind of work on both of them on their own. So, rain. Gotten about another 1.5 inches of rain. And I wanted to be working on them dudes, but I also need a little power from that dude. And I guess I could run on generator, but then it costs a little bit more money, so to speak, because I got to run gas, which isn't too bad. But the thing I hate about running off a generator to work is the noise. It's loud, and yeah, I can get everything done, but it's loud. I like it when the only noise I hear is the tool that I'm using at the time. So instead of working on these, because of, and I don't know, maybe I'll do it later. But anyway, I got some thoughts I want to share with you, because I'm a thinker. I'm constantly, studying human behavior, and there are aspects of the human behavior that we are all dealing with that people don't really talk about because they have to live with it, but they don't get into the human behavior aspect of it. They just get into the condition aspect and what's the solution for the condition as opposed to the solution for ourselves. Y'all remember, I tell you, our problems are all solved within. And so it's self-reflection that I look within as to why am I dealing with a situation, and how is that going to get resolved, or how can I at least maybe resolve it for myself, So let's talk about the first subject. Many times we talk about the human population as if they are chattel, and that the human population is being handled and managed as they are chattel. And quite frankly, a large percentage of the human population behaves like chattel. You know, it's just a fact. You know, you can get your emotions all bent out of shape, you can have an ego, but you all, including I, have all emulated those characteristics, whether we realize it or not. You know, we're all in that boat because of the lack of learning about who we are physically, spiritually, and because of the lack of our knowledge of history and our knowledge of ourselves and our knowledge, quite frankly, across the board. Well, look at you. Somebody just popped their heads out. Oh, nice and dry. You must have been sleeping under there. She didn't come in again last night. Out playing. Now you're going to go there. She's been a little independent-minded critter. I like to have my animals in at night because of the coyotes and the coons and stuff like that, because I don't like getting woke up at 3 in the morning and listening to a bunch of cat fussing and whatnot. So my animals are out during the day and put up at night. Chickens get put up at night. Well, the piggies, they stay in their pen, and the cats are brought in, and I train them because they're my animals. I train them to come in the evening with the evening feeding. Well, she hasn't come in with the evening feeding. She's just not shown up. So let's think about this on the human aspect. Because I had a, hey, you, come here. Come on. Are you going to go in and get something to eat? Huh? Or are you just wanting loving? Sorry it's wet. Huh? It occurred to me, it started raining again. I don't know if you can see that. It occurred to me that in dealing with the pigs this last week or so, and how those who deal with animal husbandry, oh, you want some attention, huh? Yeah, you little shit. Those of us who deal with animal husbandry for our own food production and raising certain animals, the four-legged kind, pigs, sheep, cows. There's something known as the finishing month. You know what that is, don't you? All of you who are watching, those of you who know what I mean by the to finish off your animal. You know, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you've been down this road, at least from the perspective. What are you doing? Huh? Where did you go? She's climbing all over me. Just leave me a comment, because here's what I want you all to think about with what is going on in the financial system. I'm going to sit down right here. What's going on in the financial system right now? Those of us who do animal husbandry and take our animals to the butcher, a lot of people will do this. I don't particularly, because I don't like fat. I like meat, and I mean that both in a literal and a figurative aspect. Fat is not exactly that healthy for you, and what you need is the protein in your diet. Well, it's also that way for your mind. Okay, so I'm talking two subjects right here, two different aspects of how we look at things and how the elite look at us because of how they think of us as chattel. But when you raise an animal, because people like to have meat that's juicier or fattier, or have that extra fat, or to have more bacon on your pig or whatever, the finishing month or the last month, that you have an animal before you take it to the butcher, you start laying on the feed. You start throwing it to them. And I did that with my 4 over there. I was throwing it to them. And the idea is that for about 4 weeks, you fatten them up. And because you let them eat and eat and eat and eat in 30 days, and this 30-day time frame, there's something you got to understand about how change can happen inside of 4 weeks, inside of 1 month, one lunar cycle. There's a lot to that timing. But in the end, what you end up with is a fatter animal. And that if you've got a cow, well, your meat will marbleize and whatnot. But to take that step to a step further, that's because you're getting ready to slaughter the animal. So I've been looking at this whole picture and how people are behaving and acting and what they're doing with the money printing and who's getting it and who's using it for what purposes. And even those who have been in the game and are aware and awake of what's going on, I don't think they realize that we're in the finishing month. The last few moments, and of course that might actually be a year in the long term, but we're in that finishing off stage right before the slaughter. If you look at the timing, and we know the charts are painted on the silver chart, we know the charts are painted on all the charts, that is all manipulated and controlled. And for the last year almost, since August, we've been building that bull flag in silver. And it's all perfectly timed for a certain point. And it occurred to me as I was laying there not sleeping too good last night because of cats fussing. They're nocturnal. They want to be out hunting at night. And so my controlling of my animals is going against what their nature is, and that's just the way it is, and it's the way it's going to be with my animals, or at least my cats. So we got some dates coming up here. We got some dates coming up here at the end of this month, just a couple weeks away from now. And it's amazing because all of us go, well, the fundamentals, this thing should have crashed a long time ago. Silver should have popped a long time ago. This should have happened, because we look at the fundamentals and we don't understand how the building is still standing if you don't have a foundation under it. There's no foundation underneath the entire structure that we've been looking at, is there? So you blow things up, and maybe you lift it up with a bunch of hot air or hot printed money or whatever. And I'm, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was doing the videos on Basel 3, Basel 2 and Basel 3, and the time frame for the reassertion as gold as a tier 1 asset and yada yada yada, I figured, well, that would push a drive for it, and then prices would go up ahead of time. Well, they did to a point, but they really haven't been turned loose. Everything's still being painted, and I think there's signals and indicators that are being painted for those who know what the signals and indicators are supposed to be. Now, that wouldn't be you or me. So when you continue to listen to all and follow none, but take things in and look inwards about how you are reacting and behaving to certain situations, it just occurred to me that the end of this month, we got Basel coming in, the end of this month, the timing on this bull flag and silver ends, which means within a short period of time we should start moving up rather rapidly. We've got the release of secret UFO information, And I can go down a whole list of things that are supposed to happen very, very soon. So they've been dumping all this money into people to fatten them up. Way more money than, I mean, nobody wants to work. I keep seeing these articles about help wanted out there. Nobody wants to work because they got a fat belly. And they've been fattened up because people are throwing to them a tremendous amount of corn in the form of printed U.S. currency units. See, this right here is the rebuttal of that. So as frustrating as it is for me, because I would be the elite and she would be the free wandering spirit, I've tried to use the food to control her to get her into the cabin at night, so I don't feed them until the evening. So she needs to go without a meal in order to have her freedom. Wow, I'm just like seeing this again. You've got to look inward. You got to look inward to yourself to see about that freedom. Because I'm going to correlate that again in a different way in my second video here. But for this one, I truly think that we are in the final month. And that's, hypothetically speaking, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 2 weeks, it could be the beginning of June. I mean, Mr. High there, up in the Pacific Northwest, seems like that when that happens, that's going to be change a whole lot of things. We know there are other events that are planned and things that are expected to happen. Y'all do your research, you should know this. So the point is this. It feels like it. It feels like the elite have turned this into the fattening up month right before the slaughter. Because when the slaughter comes, you won't be quick and nimble enough to get out of the way. You see what I'm saying? So, think on them apples. How do you like them? Big fat apples going to fatten you up? Have you been taking this? Money? T and I haven't gotten a penny of it. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing from those that I encounter that are getting it in the way they behave and act. And there is everybody on every level of that spectrum. Some people are taking it and using it wisely. But I'm seeing a laissez-faire attitude from it. From those that I'm seeing that are taking it. Anyway, that's my first thought. We call this video good, and we'll do another one on the second thought I got, because it's one that's kind of eating me up inside too, because of how things are changing and how people are behaving on it based on, well, we'll get into it in a second. So let me say bye on this one, if this is all you see. If not, we'll see you in the next one, and got some other deep thoughts for you.